Okay, and officially, good morning. Welcome to the Options Income Launchpad Tuesday opening bell. My name is Scott, and I will be your host. Um, and I'm trying to advance my slide. There it goes. No, there it goes. As always, I want to remind you that what we do is for education and illustrative purposes only. Nothing's intended as a recommendation to buy or sell any security or financial product. We're not brokers or advisors, so we do not give anything that should be considered personalized investment advice. Decisions you make should be done so at your own risk. Yada, yada, yada. Okay, what are we going to do today? Opening futures and news. Well, I've got to adjust my slides. We're not looking at the futures markets open, so we'll go jump right in. But we'll make sure we talk about the economic calendar, how our posture is adapting this week, mindset for open trades. Some of them, like AMKR, hit targets, but you could still be riding potentially if you thought there's more there, et cetera, et cetera. We'll go through our list, and of course, this is the last week of just scoring your trading plan, so we're not working on a specific plan. And that'll get us where we want to go. So let's dive in. CVX still kind of hanging out in that upper area with the Venezuela news. Let's start with the new trade. Actually, no, we'll start with the market. Get to that place. SPY slightly up. Let's actually still pop into the normal place. Let me get this. Whoops. We'll pop into these. Nope, I want finance. The $4 trillion NVIDIA stock rally faces more threats than ever. NVIDIA launches Vera Rubin, its next major AI platform. Yeah, I mean, look, we're up 0.12 on the S&P, 0.02 on the Dow, 0.25 on the NASDAQ. Russell's up 1.5%. Not sure why the small caps are getting a rally, but they are. And yet the VIX is also up again. Up minor. It's very marginal, but it's up. The VIX is at 15. It's really quite a low level. Snow and ice wreak havoc across Europe, causing deadly accidents and travel chaos. Wow. Yeah, nothing really core market information. Just sort of moving along. What are we looking for this week? Well, jobs, but we're not there yet. Yesterday, the manufacturing index came back slightly below expectations. Today, we've got a couple of Fed meetings, or not meetings, sorry, Fed speaks Tom Barkin from Richmond, Fed Governor Stephen Miran. Tomorrow, we'll get some more interesting information, starting with ADP employment in the morning, pre-market, followed by job openings. Both, nothing astounding is projected. 45,000 new jobs, but it is positive. So that's better than nothing. The Maduro effect is in play. I don't even know how much outside of CVX and some minor impact on oil. I don't know that we're getting a lot of impact at this point. So, okay. Let's go to the Fed Watch real fast. The numbers are mining and defense. Yeah, the numbers are staying pretty steady at this mid 80, 83, 84, 85% expectations that we stay the same. Only a minor contingent of people who think that we are going to get that cut in later this month. What is the exact date? 28th. 3 weeks from tomorrow afternoon. Okay, let's go hit the market. S&P still up minor. It's a marginal advance, 0.06. Let's start here. This is the trade we put on. Macy's up 0.5%, a little bit more. Good. Okay. I mean, it looked like this. The next day we got to put this on with not a lot more, but just minor extra information. So if you're wondering where this, what this projection is, it looks like that. Let's see if we're going to get one of these moves. Let's take a look at the VIX. I'll often be asked, am I too late? Actually, this is up about 1% now. I had taken it last week, Melody said. Well done. Just kind of in anticipation. Somewhere back in these 3 days as it looked like it was getting ready to cross. Okay, a nice anticipatory trade. I like it. Our market score has been 4.5, 5. That's certainly in the realm of an area where anticipatory trades can make sense. So kudos, Melody. And yeah, it's starting to move now. Now we're up 1.25%. So what I would say is look at your price. We looked at it. And I think I ended up at just right at a 3-to-1. 3-to-1 is what I ended up with. Reward to risk. Yeah. Let me know if you have any questions about this trade. Here's what it looks like. Nope, let me get it over. Here's profile. No. Okay. Here is the Analyze tab for said trade. Our initial stop was down here at 22.05. We're now up around above 23. Trade's making about $100, give or take. Not nearly what we have on the line. So, yeah. Now this is today. You might think, wait, this looks like it's way more than 3-1. Well, no, because I have to give this at least until Friday, and you can see I'm making 250, or I'm losing 250, maybe 300 if it goes to the next week to make 1100. So that's almost 4-1 on the option. But remember that the reward to risk ratio that I'm putting in here is the stock reward to risk. So before I don't actually look at the reward to risk of the option. Well, I do. I look at it to make sure that I'm getting at least the same amount. So the stock reward to risk ratio was 2.93-1, so basically 3-1. But because the options were cheap, my reward to risk ratio for the option is actually more closer to 4-1. That's why I look at the implied volatility. If the implied volatility index is low, I think that I should have a good ability to improve it from an option standpoint, right? That's the idea. I don't. There are times where when you go from the stock reward to risk ratio, you're like, oh, I'm a 3-1, and then you go look at the options, it drops 2.5-1. 3-1 drops to 2.5, and you might think, well, 2.5, that still meets my rules. Actually, I have a specific rule that says when I buy an option, I have to maintain or improve the reward to risk ratio of the stock. If I can't do that, I'm not going to buy the option. If I'm going to get a similar or slightly less reward to risk in order to maintain leverage, I'll do a spread trade where I put probability on my side with time decay or something else. So yeah, I'm not willing to sacrifice reward to risk when it comes to buying an option. Let me know if that makes sense. Let me know if anyone has any questions about that concept or about this Macy's trade. Yeah, it's getting off to a good start. Let's see what happens, right? Off to a good start. Let's go to the top of our list now. Up almost 1.5% now. So yeah, good morning. Well, you can't complain. Apple. It's not looking good, and it's maybe gonna. Did I keep it on the list? I think I gave it one more day, and then it dropped yesterday, and then again today. So, yeah, it's a bit struggling. Struggling for sure. Okay. Let's go through our list. What else is there? AMKR. Oh, so I'll tell you right now. I took all off but one contract. I took everything off yesterday because it hit my targets. I took all off except for one contract. I'm like, I'm going to see if it can keep running. I saw your comment. Loved it because of cheap options. That's a great read on that. Who still has a piece of their AMKR? Let me know. because it looks magnificent today. Took all off, nice profit. Yeah, it was a good profit yesterday, right? Like it got to its target. If you still have two, Craig, love it. Okay, out yesterday, Bob. I'm telling you, I did all but one. Craig held more than I did. I kept one. I'm like, you know what? That stochastics does look like it's got some potential, good volume. So well done, everybody, on that trade. Good management. Good on you. Amazon, it's trying to move, but I'm not seeing things that make this look like it's a potential trade at this point. Stephen asked, what attribute are you using to know your risk to reward ratio will improve or stay the same in the future? Stephen, are you asking about like when I'm looking at an option versus the stock? As we go forward, you know, the reward to risk ratio will deteriorate as the stock goes in your direction. You know, yesterday when it reached my target, there's no more risk or reward ratio. It's just like, hey, you know, what are you willing to put at risk to let this thing keep going? Now, when you get a move like today, this morning, then it absolutely is, you know, will make it worthwhile because it's substantially higher. That's not always the case. And so, you know, I use, as the trade changes, I go into the Analyze tab and I look to see where are we now? How much, you know, more gain do I have from where we are now until it hits my target? Well, let me see if I can't illustrate this using this trade here. So right now we have about close when I hit the target, even if only 2 days in. Yeah. All but one in this instance. But, you know, just because it gets there faster doesn't necessarily mean it's going to go a lot further. It can, and that's why I'm going to leave at least one open, but I'm going to follow the rules of the trade for the most part. I've had times where it got there fast and then it left fast too. And it's like, oh, if we didn't take it when we were supposed to, then we gave it back, and then it's like, what have I done? I let greed kick in. And so, yeah, I've got a plan. I'm going to stick to it. Now, I have some license and liberty to say, hey, you know what? Maybe what we could do here is pair it in a different way. Instead of selling everything, we can keep something and then manage that trade going forward. But what I want you to notice, this is the concept I'm talking about. This is my risk. It's about $100 of gain plus $220 of risk. So that's about $325. I have $325 at risk if things go the wrong way. Now this over here is my potential reward. I've got about $1,080 of potential there. Right? That's the difference between max gain $11.95 minus what I've already made $100. That gives me this $1,080. And then I take what I have plus this here, and that gives me this about $325. And you can see that's about a 3-to-1. Right? But what happens if this moves here? We move up to, let's say, 2380. What happens at 2380? Well, now all of a sudden, if you take these two numbers here, that's $575. $575 on this side. And then I take this 1200 minus 350. I've only got about 750 left to make. Over here. Now look at this. This is barely better than 1-to-1. Right? I'm now risking almost as much as I'm making, unless I do what? Unless I take this stop level and I say, you know what? What if I move this stop level to break even, or maybe it's a little even above in this level here around 23? Well, now if I do that, then all of a sudden what I've done is I've taken this from 575. Now I have 345 in gain. 45 of that is going to get locked in essentially. So this is now 300. Now I'm risking 350 or 750 to make 300. Now I'm back to 2.5 to 1. And I've managed the trade by adjusting the risk. I don't want to ever adjust the risk too closely that I jeopardize the trade, but I do want to maintain. I'm not trying to keep a 3-to-1 or a 4-to-1 the whole time. In fact, there's times where it's going to be no matter what, 2-to-1, 1.5-to-1, because it's in the momentum mode at that point. So this is just sort of, I hope this is illustrating what goes through my mind with managing the trade by keeping a reward to risk perspective, right? Is it helps us to sort of stay in tune with, hey, well, I have a stop, I have a target. Based on those numbers, what's happened and what can I do to adjust? I'm not going to be like, oh, my reward to risk dropped. Let's raise the target. What do you mean raise the target? You set that target probably fairly ambitiously when we first took the trade based on what we think the maximum output of a swing move is at any given time, based on the average moves that were made recently. So we're not going to just be like, you know what, let's just ask for another 5%. That's not going to work. What we can do is we can come in and we can make adjustments to the risk. Right? So once it hits that momentum stage, then we have the ability to tighten stops, move in, and then we're able to stay with that trade more. So this will give you a good sense of what I'm going to be thinking about as that Macy's trade moves on. Okay. Good discussion. AVGO, kind of in no man's land here after this big drop on earnings. AXP on a little pause. BAC pausing, as well as Citi. Caterpillar pausing. Sienna. I think Sienna is still setting up. That was a false signal there. The stochastics tried to pinch, but never already made it all the way. I think Sienna actually still has viability for us, so I'll keep an eye on that. I think Coherent, same thing. Both of those are very similar the way that they'll look. So obviously it would be one or the other, not both. Credo. No, Credo does not look very good right here. Cisco. No, Cisco does not look very good. Delta. Big turn day. No follow through. Earnings not far away, so be aware. The Dow. What are we seeing today? 0.07. Yeah, it's kind of flat. Fox. I thought about Fox for a continuation trade. What could I do? I could put a stop under this low. So let's call it 73 and a quarter. 275 of risk. 275 of risk to make almost 6. So it's about a little better than 2-1, and I'll be able to move my stop, move my stop, move my stop. I'm thinking about this one a little bit. First Solar. I don't know. First Solar's just kind of chopping around. GE. Now, gold. Look at gold. Back up 1% today. General Motors. I thought General Motors. I thought General Motors looked pretty good yesterday, and then today it's sort of pulling back. So I'm still watching that one to see. Google still just sort of pushing a little higher. Goldman flat after a couple of good days. Howmet flat. So we can see that industrials and financials have both taken a little bit of a pause today. IBM. Let's go actually. I want to go look at a heat map. And I want to go. No, what was I looking for? Sorry, not a heat map. I want groups. Okay, what's struggling today? Industrials, cyclical, financial. Who's doing well today? Healthcare, basic materials, utilities. So a little bit of a defensive orientation. You can see basic materials. From this perspective, basic materials has been quite strong this year. Interestingly. Okay, Intel. So Intel gapped up. A couple people closed near the high. Well done. We wanted 43. If you close near the high, you got near 42. Nothing wrong with that. I still think it's got the ability to try to get up there and still get back up to 44. So, it's moving. It's holding up. Let's see what it does. It's up almost 1% today. Small caps, IWM. Let me know who's still in the Intel trade. Who's still in Intel with at least a piece, anyways, is the question. Yes. Okay. Several people are. I think that makes sense. JCI. Woo! What happened here? I started to wonder as this thing rolled over, taking the profit off of it here. And then the next day I'm like, yeah, I got out just in time. And then the next day I'm like, oh, shit. Anybody else do that? Let me know. I was like, oh man, maybe I closed too early. And then yesterday it was up here at one point and then it pulled back and I'm still thinking, and then boom, today this thing just exploded. So I hope everyone got out while the getting was good on JCI. Lumentum, still a possible setup here. And if it gives us like a a smooth setup, um, then I think I'd consider it. Yeah, I think I would. This thing's a mover. It's a shaker. Eli Lilly popping around a little bit. Lamb. Whoa, look at Lamb Research. That thing took off too. That one took off quite a bit as well. Um, let's see. Let's see. Um, yeah, Macy's is holding up okay. MasterCard chopping around. Meta still sort of just flat. A little bit flat in there. Okay, Morgan pausing like we knew financials were. Microsoft is still well down. Micron just running like a beast. Running like a beast. Netflix down still. Nvidia holding up still. Palantir. I feel like this was just a little too heavy. I'm not looking for this hook pattern. I think it was just a little bit too much. IRDM. Yeah, let's take a look. Anybody else has a signal that they feel is iridium? Yeah, it's well under the moving averages, but it does look like it's trying, to get the lows higher, but the highs are kind of stalled out. I would be a little leery still, but this looks all right. NASDAQ today up pretty well, 2/3 to 0.67%. The real, maybe something developing here. There may be another trade for us. We are getting to that point, Craig. Rocket Lab. It turned so fast that I don't know if anyone pulled the trigger on that one. I did not. It turned so fast on that one. Yeah, if it broke, there might be more there for us. Okay. Roku. Uh, was there an IWM trade? Did you do one with Glenn that I didn't see? We didn't have an alert on IWM, or on INTC. I don't think we did. Did we do a trade alert on IWM? That doesn't sound familiar. But possibly with Glenn. Let's keep going. Thought there was. No, I don't think so. But let's take a look at it. I mean, it did bounce off the 50. If you have January options, you're starting to see time decay, like the standard Januaries. But I would still, like, if I was in a trade on this bullishly, I'd give it this week at least to see if it can, make a move. Yeah. Okay. Where were we? Roku. No. Ross stores. Ross looks okay. We were looking at Ross as a possibility. RTX is slowing down. Silver. Big move up today. New highs for silver, in fact. Interestingly. Okay. SanDisk. Woo, goodness gracious. That's where the momentum is. I'll tell you what, right there you can see that's all we got was this little consolidation with a big turn. And now this thing's up 23%. My gosh. These digital storage are something, man. They are something. STX doing the same thing, up 10%. Teradyne only up 2.5%, but all of them looked pretty good. So, yeah. TJX, retail, consumer discretionary. I think there's still a viable setup developing here. Tesla does not look great. Still struggling. Still struggling. Okay. Let's take a look at TSM today. Yeah, this is another one. It just kind of ran and kept running. Very strong. Okay. Our VIX today was up at the beginning. I find the VIX interesting right now. Because it is just sort of loitering in here. It hasn't done enough yet. I would say I need it to break back below 1430 maybe. What's the low of this day here? 1438. Yeah. I mean, technically, today closing below this low could be for some people, and maybe for me. I'm not sure yet, enough to characterize this as a lower high. We've been in the upswing. When you look at what the VIX has been doing, we've been in the upswing. So, yeah. Any questions about the VIX, let me know. Okay. WBD, as we said before, I just didn't think there was anything left in this one, even after the pullback. There was a bit of enticement there, but yeah, no. Okay. WDC is another one of those high-flying digital storage stocks. I gotta say, I feel like we had a good read on them. We were looking for something through here. Unfortunately, a lot of the triggers came on like up 6%, up 8% days, and there just wasn't much we can do with days like that. I missed one. Sorry, SANA. So, let me switch back. Somebody asked for this one, SANA. It's holding the 100, but not the 50. So I look at this and I think could be a consolidation. Once we decide it's a consolidation, my thought is it has to go up and then roll over and come back down and make a higher low. I have to have the higher low. All right. Where were we? WBD. Oh, no. Walmart. Ooh, Walmart. Come on, Walmart. Yesterday we got a pause day after we had a good day. Whoops. Here. Pause day here. Pause day here. I need this thing to get back in this area in the next day or so, or I'll lose patience and I'm gonna be moving my stop up. I'm not gonna give it too much room. So, Steven, I did see that. I'm trying to dig up. I have the old source files. I've got to dig those up and see if I can't determine what went wrong there. If you've gone through is that the first option trade series? Yes. Yeah. That will be rectified, but there was a situation in there where it was one of the videos had some issues and it was unable to be completed. So yeah, we'll take care of that. I'll take care of that. Okay. Marvell. Oh, Marvell. We haven't looked at that in a while. MRVL. Let's take a look. Let's get rid of this. And I actually want 6 months. I don't know why I've been looking at this. I like to get a little more context sometimes. Okay. Okay. Yeah. It's I would say broken back out of here, then it sort of slowed down, and now it's made the break. I'm going to wait, though, for the next pullback. Is it principally gaming? No, Marvell is chips. Marvell Technologies is semiconductors, I believe. Let me, before I fully commit to that. Fundamentals, IT. Oh, IT. Provides data infrastructure, semiconductor solutions. They develop and scale system on a chip architectures. So maybe it's semiconductor implementation, I guess. Yeah, there you go. Okay, let's look at the XLs. There's Basic Materials doing its thing again, right? Still looking quite strong. Still quite strong. Okay. XLC, Communication Services, kind of flat. We'd like to see some momentum come in there. Energy had a huge spike. Obviously, that was the Maduro effect. We'll see if that pulls back more or if it starts to hold on. Financials, big day yesterday, slow day today. Industrials, kind of the same. Technology, trying. Staples has lost quite a little bit. Utilities is flat. Healthcare moving strongly again today. And consumer discretionary is trying to get some momentum, trying to catch a bounce. Okay. AMKR managing. We've got a couple of other trades that are on that are just trying to figure it out. And we'll be looking for more trades this week. Questions, comments, or concerns? Let me know. Questions, comments, or concerns? All right. Yeah, it's a more subdued day. What are our thoughts for possible day trading? Oh, it's starting to move now, actually. We're up 0.4%. Let's go take a peek at the intraday. It already made this morning move. It busted out of the opening range. Now what? Well, it's overextended. It just went Google for put for a day trade. All right, let's take a look at. I'm looking for this definitely for a little bit of a pullback, but if this gives a higher low, then as a day trade, I'd be thinking, yeah, that's trading with the momentum of the market. Let's go take a look at Google. And Google did the opposite. Google broke to the downside. So hopefully you got it 10, 15 minutes ago when it first was breaking that. But yeah, that looks good. Looks like it's broken its opening range to the downside. And yeah, it's I'd probably say there's at least a target down here for maybe a little takeoff, and then see if it can keep on moving down into this next range. That looks pretty reasonable. Who's doing some day trading? How many would do? I'm very curious. Who do we have that's doing some day trading? Just a handful. Do we have quite a few? Check Intel again. Yeah. Let's take a look. Intel. I'm looking for Intel to try. I mean, yesterday it had this day, but overall, I still think we have some upward slope. So I am still definitely, looking for that. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, good. Good day. I mean, I think things are moving. Things are. It's not as strong of a day, but there's still some opportunity. We'll see if another alert comes our way. If we have to be patient for the next one. All right. What else? Tomorrow or tonight we have our Q&As, open session or beginners Q&A and open session. So certainly would love to see everybody there. Glenn will be first. I will be second. And then tomorrow morning at the same time. Things are going well. It's always good to have a smashing trade like AMKR. That certainly helps. Lock some gains in January. Have a great rest of your day. And as always, happy trading.